What's up, friends? It's Jay Lobos coming back to you on another episode. And as you guys already seen the last videos, we're in sunny
We're in the
Florida.
backyard, baby.
Yeah, we're in my backyard.
We're enjoying the breeze.
Enjoying the breeze. It's a lovely day. It's unfortunate, but we obviously have to still be protected.
Yeah.
But we wanted to go ahead and bring you guys valuable information, given the fact that we're all going through similar situations of this COVID-19, the corona, and people are asking me, do I close out this account? Do I close out that account? And I actually got some notes. I put some stuff on paper. I'm actually going to put this even on my website as a blog for you guys. And I wanted to talk about credit cards.
Oh, good.
When is it a good time to close a credit card? Should I close a credit card? Should I not close a credit card? So what are the things that are impacting your credit, and how should we address it given the fact that we're in a tough situation? So for you guys out there checking out the video for the first time or the channel, consider liking, subscribing, because I'm going to bring you guys a lot of valuable information regarding credit, finance, life insurance, investments.
Everything.
You pretty much name it. I'll obviously become a spokesperson for the corona. So let's go ahead and dive in, Berto. So don't close your credit cards without talking to or knowing exactly what to do. So real quick. So you obviously know that credit's a formula. It's a combination of things.
Correct.
So the credit card impacts 30% of your score.
30%, which is the second biggest chunk of what makes our scores as consumers.
Yes.
Right? Okay, the point number one.
So now think about this, guys. When we're considering of closing out a credit card, and the reason why we're considering is because we're probably in a situation that financially, because the economy
we lost our
jobs, we become unemployed. Maybe we haven't done our taxes, or we've been backed up on taxes, and we haven't taken advantage of the stimulus checks and stuff like that. And we already know what's going on with the Paycheck Protection and the bridge loan and all these other things. So now it's like it's a situation that is kind of sensitive. We don't want to get ourselves into trouble, but at the same time, we don't want to lose the credit, because credit is a non-negotiable thing that we're supposed to have.
Very important, guys. Right now, with everything happening with COVID-19, remember, interest rates are at a historic low, which means the requirements are going up. Meaning, the lower the interest rates go, the better credit score that you need to have to be able to acquire it.
Definitely. You need over a 680, and I've even heard of a 700. But consider this, guys. And this is actually one of the talking points, and I'm glad that you talked about it, because before you consider closing out a credit card, what are the consequences?
Exactly.
One of the consequences is obviously you're thinking about history. History is 15% of your credit. So if you're going to go ahead and close out an account, you're not only going to go ahead and miss out, which is the cumulative,
the availability of funds, right?
Which in this case, 30% of your credit. I always tell people the magic number is 30%.
30%. Yep.
So that means that if you have a limit, let's say a cumulative of $1,000, you don't want to go above 30% utilization, because your scores tend to decrease.
Right.
And especially if you went ahead and paid off a credit card and then you closed it, then guess what? Your utilization could even increase depending on the amount of availability that you have.
Correct.
So
remember,
hurting
guys,
your chances to get approved for a loan.
Exactly. Remember, availability of funds, so for you guys out there watching this, is how much money do you have available on credit cards opposed to how much of that money are you using. Okay?
Definitely.
Which is why you want to make sure, like Justo said, before you go ahead and close anything out, you want to weigh your options first.
Definitely. Not only that, let's think also about when is it a good time to close out an account. So let's do an inventory.
Okay.
You know what? You might have a credit card that you started off, a beginner, maybe a fully secured credit card. It's a crappy credit card. It has a high interest rate. You don't want to keep that.
Well,
but you know what? Before I go ahead and
replace it,
let me see.
I want to replace it with something else.
Which is another great way of.
Right.
We don't have to go ahead and reduce the utilization or the cumulative aspect of the limits.
Right.
But at the same time, if we add another credit card, possibly with things that we want,
points, miles, cash back, whatever it is.
Definitely.
Whatever it is that you're looking for. So if you have, for example, like Justo said, you started with a secure card, but now at this point you have better credit. You're looking for a specific credit card because you're a person that travels a lot for work. Then you want to make sure that before you eliminate that secure card, you're able to get in with the credit card that you was looking for, so that then at that point you can eliminate the older one.
So in other words, the same thing happens. I want to apply for a mortgage, a loan, a car loan, a business loan.
Yep.
Before I go ahead and close out one of my credit cards, let me apply for this before I cancel it. The same thing. And again, too, you could vice versa. You could use an additional type of credit card, get approved first
And
before
then,
closing out the bad
correct.
one. Also, keep in mind, too, I want to talk about inquiries. Because inquiries, that's
good
important.
one.
That's
Yeah.
obviously 10% of your credit. So people tend to apply for a lot of credit cards, especially when they try to get discounts with
Yeah.
retail stores.
Exactly.
But keep in mind, guys, 10% of your score is based on inquiries. So
Yep.
you applying, and again, too, and keep this in mind, if you're considering canceling credit cards, don't cancel 2 or 3 at the same time.
No,
it's not
never.
good.
No.
Cancel them sporadically.
Cancel one.
month. The
Next
one,
month.
2 months.
Yes.
You cancel another one. If you do it all at the same time, you could have a huge negative impact on your scores.
Yep.
And the same thing happens when you're applying for credit cards.
True.
So now you go, obviously.
Don't apply for 5 credit cards the same day or the same month.
Absolutely, because that's considered new credit, which is
Yep.
an inquiry, which is 10% of your credit. Yes, getting approved for a credit card could mean that you might increase even higher than what you're losing
Right.
because you do lose 3 to 8 points per inquiry.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's not feasible to do that. So
Correct. I mean, remember, guys, if each inquiry counts by between 3 to 8 points, if you run your scores, if you run your credit 10 times, you just lost anywhere from 30 to 80 points.
definitely,
So that's gonna kill you.
that's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Guys, again, when we're looking and considering, we're all going through a financial crisis. We're all being impacted financially.
Yeah.
Yes, it is sound for you to do an inventory of all your credit cards, create a spreadsheet, a budget sheet. Try not to go above the 30% utilization unless it's necessary.
Yeah.
It should not be a want.
Guys,
Credit is
yeah.
being used to leverage, not to overindulge. Live below your means.
Right now, guys, especially is a critical time with a lot of people losing their job, getting their hours cut, not knowing how they're gonna make money, waiting on the stimulus to perhaps pay some of the bills
Some of the
out.
accounts,
So,
yeah.
guys, please do not indulge on just using credit cards and because if you're gonna end up losing more than expected.
I've
Why?
always said this. It's a lot easier to get off $300, especially when we talk about limits, than $3,000.
Oh yeah.
So also be careful on those increases, or when you apply, don't allow your creditor to do automatic increases. Do them yourself
Yeah.
whenever, and again too, I've done other videos about this. So I think we've spoken a little bit about credit
Yeah,
cards, right guys?
I think we've covered most of it. So again, Jackie Justo says this is a channel where we normally bring you a lot of information on finances, things that are happening. So like, subscribe, comment, and obviously if this information is helpful, please share it to those who can
Share it
use
with
it.
your love and family, friends, guys. Let's keep the conversation moving. Thank you so much for the love and support. Stay healthy. Until the next time.